Let's talk about all the good things and the bad things that may be. Let's talk about sex. Let's talk about sex.
Ow! Asha knows.
Any others that I forgot? There's got to be one. There's.
The one
Why do I
was
always confuse TLC?
TLC were way hotter.
Whoever
than
we were
Salt
just
and
talking
Pepper.
Pepper and Ace of Base. Like I always
okay.
confuse.
The
Base
two
were all white and
blackest
from,
all
like,
girl
Australia.
bands and the whitest all girl band.
Yeah, and weren't they from Australia or New Zealand?
I don't
Something
know.
like that.
I just always
Canadian.
confuse them.
I know they
so
were not
what?
American. I know that.
Yeah.
What's your guys' problem about it?
All that she wants is another baby.
She's going tomorrow, boy.
I saw
There was
the
that
sign.
yeah.
Oh,
that
that's
was
the
too.
one.
Opened up my eyes, I saw the sign.
Love is
Why
demanding.
are we recording this?
Without understanding. Okay. All right. Hey, everyone.
Maybe this is what my podcast should have been about.
Maybe so, yeah.
Hey everyone!
Holy
welcome
shit,
to
you're
the whole...
blowing
Oh,
everyone's
because
ears
I
out,
went
you
right into it.
son of a bitch.
Oh, man.
Well, that's because I
You
leaned in.
can't lean
Can't
in
take
to
my job.
scream,
That's
son.
my job.
Mic etiquette.
That's my job.
Sorry.
All right. What's up, everyone? Welcome to the Horror Show. I be Cecil Laird.
Jaime and Fuego here.
Marcia Parker.
And we are back once again. This time we are going to be unpacking what was the Fangoria Fearcon of Phoenix 2016.
Formerly Phoenix Fearcon.
Formerly
until
Phoenix Fearcon.
Corporate sponsor stuff.
Something that we spoke about on the podcast quite a bit for about 3 weeks in a row, doing some preparation with Wendy West, with Chris McLennan, with ourselves. And then we had the con, and this is us talking about it. So let's get into it, you guys. We were there from Friday till Sunday, and we actually were lucky enough, thanks to Chris and everyone at Sun Studios of Arizona, to actually get a spot on the floor with the rest of the exhibitors and the celebrities. One would argue the corner was indeed the best spot.
We could see pretty much the whole con.
Pretty much the whole con, except for the people that had all of the bootleg DVDs and posters that had the huge setup that basically blocked half of the con for us visually.
Truly, but we had the babylicious Tiffany Shepis right next to us, too.
Very much so. And in fact, the people with the display were exceedingly nice.
Oh,
They
were
were.
super cool. We've actually met them before, I'm pretty sure.
I believe so,
the girl
too.
at least,
Yeah.
so.
Yeah. So they were really cool people. And quite frankly, that is exemplary of the con and all of the people that were exhibitors. They were all very nice. And they all had an interesting time over the weekend. Like, we're gonna unpack it, okay? So let's get into it, you guys. How do you think we should do it? Should we go day by day?
Yeah.
Let's just hit Friday first. Okay, so Friday I showed up, and we were basically encouraged to show up to set up by like 11 o'clock, so I did. And unfortunately, I don't know what happened. The problem with the con was that it was thrown together very competently with the amount of time that they had.
Yes.
However, they did not have that much time to get the word out about it. So while the con was quality, there wasn't a huge amount of traffic, unfortunately. So I'm going to say that right up front. But after that, there was still some really cool aspects of the con. And so on Friday, there were a number of cool things. And first off, one of the coolest things was the airbrusher, Jason and his company that Susie from our very show connected us with.
It's von Slaughter.
Yes, exactly. I wish I knew the name of the company right offhand.
Twisted
Airbrushing, yes.
Yeah.
Twisted Airbrushing, exactly. And that's Jason, and his works of art were walking around the entire weekend.
Yeah, they were.
I had to mention
we were all
that.
pretty happy about that. Every red-blooded male.
Absolutely. Well,
and some women too, man.
Absolutely.
Hey.
Marsha was a fan too. Everyone was a fan.
They were really. I mean, it was very impressive work, and the ladies. I mean, you really have to have some full confidence to walk around, basically with your
topless,
all shapes and sizes.
Yeah, some of them just were wearing underwear and they were fully all done, and it was just very elegantly done.
Yeah, those were really good ones.
It is.
Yeah, and
but it was very elegant and
sizes
tasteful
and stuff, and that's where you have to have that confidence, whether you've got ginormous knockers, or it's an itty bitty titty committee, or whatever. I mean, no, and that's the thing. It's
You're
all
so
about
sensitive.
It's all about self confidence, though, you know. And
some were healthier than others, but
they all carried it confidently. So, so good
I
on
was
them.
trying to give credit.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Hats off to you, ladies, because I know I wasn't about to be volunteering.
I was
be
tempted.
In there.
I think we even saw some dudes going around that had different.
Definitely did.
Yeah.
Yeah, there was a devil man painted up.
He's the one I'm thinking of.
Yep, absolutely. And
devil man, crowd down, devil man.
There was one girl they were working on all day, and I kind of fell back because by the time she was done, the con was over.
Pretty much.
I was like, I feel bad because nobody's gonna be able to admire and enjoy it. So.
He did such cool things. He did a skeleton girl. He did a demoness. He did a girl that was sort of just damaged, like she'd been in a fight, except she was wearing this kick-ass reddish pink corset that had been painted on her, and it was like so crazy well done. Like, shout out to Jason, because man, is he a talented dude. Twisted airbrushing again, guys, check it out. But outside of that, I mean, there was still a lot of cool stuff to see, and one of the coolest things I would say would be the access to the celebrities at the con.
Oh yeah,
because again, it was set up the same way that Mad Monster has been set up when they've come through, and that is that all the exhibitors sort of share the floor with the celebrities, or at least the exhibitors that that contributed to go inside, because there were some people set up outside just due to space and things like that. And
we had friends of the exhibitors, Torture Couture, Modified Minds, also the Ghost Hunter guys.
Well. J. Marie Yates, absolutely, the Cops crew. And then some of the other people too. The Texas Hold'em with Zombies people were there for the first 2 days.
Mm-hmm. Seen them on the channel.
Absolutely. So there was some talent there for sure. I mean, amongst the celebrities as well. There was, like Fuego said, there was Tiffany Shepis, who is a B-movie scream queen. You gotta call her at least.
A slightly older one, but just as renowned, if not more so. I mean,
absolutely.
Lots of stuff under her belt.
And then we had Lou Temple.
Who
happened to be something very special to this horror show community, which we'll get to.
On Sunday.
We'll talk about that a little later. And then also, who was the zombie?
The gentleman from Land of the Dead. His name is eluding
Clark?
me.
Something Clark?
Oh my gosh, we're awful.
I feel so bad.
Oh, this is terrible.
We've seen him at every con.
He's been at every con, I know.
Eugene Clark.
Clark, yeah.
I had a long talk about Apple products with him.
Oh, did you really?
Yeah.
Nice. Really? I didn't even get to say hi to him, but
he's a sweet guy.
He's awesome.
He played the big brute zombie in Land of the Dead. You guys remember Land of the Dead? The really terrible. It was the start of the decline of
him
the
and
Master.
Dennis Hopper were the best parts of that movie, because everything else was just.
Speaking of which, there's news recently that George Romero cannot get a zombie movie off the ground funding wise.
After Diary and Survival, I can't understand.
After Diary, Survival, and Land, because Land was god awful as well.
It was his first one since what? Day of the Dead was 83?
I don't know that the zombie game
so.
is a young man's game, but Mr. Romero, props to you, sir.
Still the greatest interview of my journalistic
They should just
career.
give him money because he is George Romero.
He should be able to do what he needs to do in the horror community.
Kickstarter or a crowdfunder of some sort, I would imagine.
I just feel like that's
on the
kind
heels of the news story this week, I wouldn't be surprised if that did happen. Mm-hmm. But
I think maybe that's why the story was out there, right?
True. So circling back to the con, though, outside of him, we had also the man that played the old man in the Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I can't remember his name offhand. Unfortunately, this is terrible.
You're prepared.
You know what? I don't need your stuff.
Well, we also had the big, ginormous guy from House of a Thousand
Corpses. From House of a Thousand Corpses.
Right?
Marcia? Right?
You remember
that guy? That guy was there, too.
Big, long-haired beast.
Rufus?
He's just a big old teddy bear.
Nope, not... Oh, Rufus was his character name? Mm-hmm. Okay. Sure, Rufus from House of a Thousand Corpses.
That's right.
So, oh man, this is embarrassing.
Well, we didn't get to talk to them.
No, we didn't, and that's
they were on the other side of the room.
Not only were they on the others, they were a whopping 50
other
feet
side
away
of the
from us.
But they weren't very available either.
No, they were all very... I tell you what.
There's that Artie kid from Scorpion, too, right?
Yeah, he was there for all of an hour.
Ari Lehman, who was there for one day, Saturday.
Barely.
He had his entourage with him, too.
Yeah, who were talking a big game, especially his manager, his father.
And was it Call of the Siren? Was his short film?
Yeah.
No, actually, no.
It was a full-length feature.
Full-length
feature.
His directorial debut.
You know what, though? We can't like come down on him too hard because I'm sure he expected something completely different when he showed up.
Well, he was also like the most high-profile current person there, as far as like
he says with
goes.
quotey fingers. Yeah, with purpose.
I think I'm the only one that watches Scorpion. Sits at the
so
table.
You're the only one that knew him. Was it disappointing to see his like that he?
Well, I didn't get to go over and talk to him because like when I saw him,
he was never actually at his desk.
Right? No, I saw him once, and he was busy talking to Lou Temple, and I didn't want to interrupt him because we heard some kind of. Though I guess the way Chris was kind of portraying him, that I didn't want to like just come up and talk.
He was a bit of a diva.
Yeah, and I don't know. So I was just like, I'll wait until they're done. I don't want to interrupt them, and then.
I have to say, the lady in this movie was quite the
it's not
siren.
It's not Ari Lehman. I said Ari Lehman. It was Ari Stedham.
Stedman?
I said Ari Lehman, and that's the first Jason.
Yeah.
Who actually signed the Jason statue we gave away. Guys, I've had a couple of drinks, but at least I caught my mistake. So it was Ari Stedham.
Yes.
I think.
Yeah, so
I don't know.
I don't think he was there for very long. I was like, he must have gotten lunch. And
I mean, he just kind of popped in and out.
He popped in and out, yeah. I mean, no. You know what? I gotta hand it to
Lou
specifically Eugene, Lou, Lynn, and Tiffany.
Yeah.
Because up until the very last day, the last couple of hours, they were all there the entire time. Yeah. Tiffany cut out about 3 o'clock on the Sunday, but frankly, everything was going to wind down at 5, and frankly, everything wind down well before that anyway. Yeah. So they shout out to them for sticking it out, for sticking to their contracts because they were great, and they might have been a little bit. Disappointed with the performance, underwhelmed.
But sure. I mean, also there was certain things working against us, like the weather, for instance, where that one particular celebrity was caught in the hurricane and could not get a flight out.
True, it was just when Hurricane, what was it called? Hurricane something or other. Sure, we'll go with Hurricane Bob.
Hurricane Bob. Sure.
It was just rolling through Florida, and it actually canceled
an entire convention, right?
I don't know exactly if... Oh, yeah. Well, and it canceled an entire convention in Florida, but it canceled 3 of 4 celebrities that ended up being no-shows for Fangoria Fearcon.
And then there was also the Model Hunger director who had...
She was the one that ended up with pneumonia.
Unfortunately. And Model Hunger, I must say, was one of the ones I was most interested to see, with Shepis and Lynn playing a bad guy.
After we came down on the trailer and the trailer reaction we did for it.
Did we watch it? It
was a TTT.
Really?
Oh, yeah.
I guess I don't remember.
I guess after meeting everybody, we were just kind of like...
Well, the concept sunk in a little bit better when I was reading the description and stuff. And
not for me.
Who knows?
I kind of wanted to see it because we had, multiple conversations with everybody that was there, that was in it, and I won't, and some of them were giving us support there, and I wanted to show that same support. However, we were just ending one of our panels,
which was our one and only Friday panel. Good
right,
segue
and
here.
then they just started it. It wasn't on Friday.
Well, I was talking Friday. We had our one panel, but yeah, you were referring to the fact that we
couldn't watch Model Hunger because they had already started it before we could finish our
because
panel.
Of our panel. That's right.
And I was disappointed because I really wanted to go and check it out and show the same support as they were providing us for the weekend. So.
Right. Mm-hmm. Yeah, we did 4 panels across the weekend, and almost all of them are available on our channel now. I think the only one I haven't yet put up by the time this podcast airs is the horror video game panel, which maybe by the time it comes up, I'll have put it up this week. But we did some good panels, man, and it was just a little disappointing that not more people could see it, but hence the point of the show, that's why we recorded it, to be able to show people after the fact. And let's talk about the panels because it'll be a good segue into Lou and stuff like that. Yeah, sure. So we spoke about, let's hit the horror video games panel. So,
well, the first one was Friday night. What was it? TV,
no, I know. We're going to
movies?
work all around because it'll lead
story-wise
story-wise into Lou.
Day to day, but...
oh, yeah, you're right. We did say that. Okay, fair enough. You keep me on track. Okay, so Friday was the horror movies in 2016 panel.
Yeah.
Which basically we spotlit all of our opinions on what we thought of the horror movies up until this point in 2016. And I thought that panel went well. Marcia, I don't know if you saw, but on the episodes, David, the reason we asked for your slideshows is because we've overlaid our slides for each of the topics and everything like that so people can follow along. And it's being appreciated by the viewers. They've been commenting, oh, I'm glad you guys put the slides up. So... yeah, so
it's all about the visual.
That was a good panel. Do you guys have any specific thoughts on the horror movies in 2016 panel?
I thought it came together well. I thought with our growing experience as panelists, we are really dialing in how we approach each topic and how we discuss everything and not overstepping our boundaries with each player. And it was just a lot of fun, and I thought the audience was really interactive. The ones that were there appreciated and was listening to what we had to say. Like, we're people that know what we're talking about, so that was good.
I also like the diversity of the criteria we put together, where it was like biggest surprise, biggest disappointment, best and worst. So, I mean, it wasn't just polarizing good and bad. We had nice variety of opinions.
Agreed, absolutely. And so we did that panel on Friday, and then we did the VIP party on Friday night, which
was
that
fun,
was so
actually.
much fun. I think it was one
awesome.
of my favorite parts of the whole thing.
Yeah, I agree, and it must have been a good time for me too, because I had no less than 4 people the next day come up to me
Cecil.
and say, "How are you today? Are you okay?" And I was like, "Why does everyone keep asking me that?"
Guilty as charged.
Apparently, I had some fun that first night, and yes, I had a
I
number
don't
of
think
drinks, and I was
anybody was out of control.
I don't think I was out of control either, and apparently, like, it just I guess everyone was getting a kick out of bringing it up because I was probably clearly drunk.
Yeah.
But but it doesn't take away from anything I was saying.
Hey man, Sheppa showed up in a pretty good mood herself, and
she did, and we ended up
ended
up commiserating about some of our past co-filmmaking experiences.
No, we're even talking about the panel 2 years ago that she did with Michael.
That's right. Oh my God.
Was that funny to hear about?
Oh, that was interesting stories. So the VIP party was good times. Marcia, anything in particular from the party?
I had a lot of fun. We actually were doing Facebook Live at one point, and then just kind of going around showing everybody all the action they were missing, and it was just like, I think it was just a great way to break the ice with the vendors and the celebrities that were there, and just the people putting on the event. It was just a great way to kick off a wonderful weekend, and I'm so happy.
Discussion with Jim.
Yeah,
cool.
Yeah, it was really great, and I just think that
I probably barged in on.
I mean, you joined the conversation, but we were all just having a great time.
I love Jim. Jim and Chris are
check
great
the
people.
Facebook video. You guys were trying to remember different characters on some movie. I can't even remember what it is now. And then we just kind of went around the whole con, and people, our fans, are just on Facebook just going, oh, I want to come, I want to be there. You guys look like it's so much fun, and just the energy of that night, it really set off the weekend for me. I was like, this is what I've been looking for when going to these smaller cons.
Yeah, so. Agreed.
Started us out on a good note. Yes,
for sure. So let's move into Saturday. Saturday was interesting. Again, we anticipated it being the busiest of the days, and it was.
Yeah, we had some outdoor vendors. The cars were there.
Yeah. When we showed up, I was like, "Oh crap!" Like there was, where was all this stuff yesterday? But yeah, there was a bunch of spooky cars. There was a
Lilith was there.
Yep, Lilith was there. A version of Baby from Supernatural. And we also had a cop car and an ambulance that looked like they had been driven through a zombie apocalypse. Because there was bloodstains all over, and those were provided by a gentleman that I think introduced himself to us at one point, that has cop gear that can be a cop in any of our shorts or anything we want. But we also had the Ghostbusters car show up, the old Ecto-1. Yep, absolutely. And then there was some people that did their vehicles up like they were a part of the Mad Max Wasteland sort of situation. They call themselves the Wastelanders, but it is sort of a Mad Max homage kind of thing. And then there was just some other cool vendors outside that hadn't made it the previous day because they thought that it was open Saturday and Sunday, and there were 2 snow cone makers and 1 or 2 other food trucks. It was an interesting setup.
Well, there was the lady
least.
doing the metal flowers, right?
Yeah.
That you saw and thought were pretty cool.
Yeah, there's some really cool stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, all right. Totally overwhelmed with it, I see.
Totally.
Yeah.
But
they had like the little shop of horrors, kind of like carnivore plant in the pot. I thought it was really cool. I wasn't gonna pay $60 for it, but it was awesome.
It was a little bit overpriced.
Very nice handiwork, though. Got to give credit.
It was interesting.
It was really well made. So
sure. So outside of that, though, there was some other stuff we got to do. Like we did another panel, which was the horror television in 2016 panel.
What a year for TV it's been, too. So we had a ton to talk about.
So much to talk.
Yeah, tons of stuff, and there was some really cool ones and some not so cool ones, and we talked about all of them. And I thought that was another successful panel because some of the people that were actually in attendance told us afterwards that they hadn't seen quite a few of what we had been talking about, and that was really cool to hear. So
we slightly altered the criteria because we were like, what is the one show you wish you were watching that you're not watching yet? And I thought that was a good one. You had mentioned this. No, I had mentioned The Strain.
You mentioned The Strain because it's
correct,
excellent.
Yeah.
I mentioned Bates Motel because I keep hearing how good it is.
And I did iZombie.
Yeah, that was another good one. So
good picks across the board, though.
Yeah, they definitely were. And Saturday was a good night. We didn't hang around for terribly long into Saturday night because we had been there all day. And we were ready to move on. So
we watched UFC and got discounted bar food.
Oh my God, terrible discounted bar food. Not shout out to that location.
Bad. We will. That place shall go unnamed.
Absolutely, because that was really terrible. But yeah, so that leads us into Sunday, which is when we got to do a number of really cool things. Actually, we did 2 panels that day, as well as Marcia got to do something that she hadn't done before. But let's segue into that when we get there. So the first thing we did was good lord. Well, when did we actually watch the shorts program? Was that Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday we watched the shorts program.
Okay, so
because there was one on Saturday and one on Sunday.
Let's talk about that real quick. So we watched the shorts program on Saturday, where it was essentially an hour and a half long collection of short films, but in my estimation there were actually longer short films, so there was probably only about 6 or 7 that we got to see in that amount of time.
Yeah, I mean most were in the at least 10 minutes, if not a little bit longer, 12 to 15. And one of my favorites was The Call of Charlie, which actually ended up winning the shorts competition. Yeah,
which was the basically Cthulhu comes home for dinner kind of storyline.
Cool.
But he's not there's also a couple uninvited guests, whereas Cthulhu was the anticipated, or Charlie, as they call him on there.
Right.
Yeah, but there was 2 people who show up unannounced at this dinner party that they're going to sacrifice this woman to Cthulhu at, and it's like, what do you think's going to happen to those 2 people?
Yeah, nothing great.
Was it my mom?
It was actually really quirky and dark comedy funny. I liked it a lot. Now, my personal favorite might have been the one that was the final one, where it was a Northern California winery that was killing people and putting them in barrels, which was really cool. Yeah, experimental winemaking, as I think they described it at one point. Of course you would.
Yeah, no, that was a good one, and I actually liked one called The Intruders. So yeah, the short competition was really cool. We appreciated it. So that was on Saturday too. I knew I'd skipped over something, but let's jump to Sunday. So the first panel that we did on Sunday was one of the coolest ones because it was the Walking Dead panel.
Yes. Our most highly attended, too.
Our most highly attended, and not only that, but one of the celebrities, Lou Temple, who we mentioned earlier, who happens to be an alumni from The Walking Dead. Yep. He was Axel in the prison season.
Axel.
Which was season 3.
Axel.
And he attended the panel, so we had basically us 3 along with 2 other people, Michael Flanders and his wife, two very nice people, and from Bloody Ramblings, I believe is his site. So,
and we didn't know Lou was going to be there.
No, we did not know Lou was going to be there, and he showed up and was actually in attendance. Lou Temple, a cast member, former cast member of The Walking Dead, is watching us do our panel on The Walking Dead.
He just kind of walked in, sat in the front row.
Just sat in the front row, like was watching all nonchalantly with his legs crossed and everything. And then at one point we started talking about our favorite seasons, and luckily Fuego had picked season 3.
Still my favorite.
And so after he had finished explaining why he liked season 3, and I was like, and of course everyone likes season 3 because of the character Axel. And
which I forgot to mention, and so good you swooping in.
Yeah, so I was like, let's see if we can bring him into it or whatever. Yeah. And then he started talking, and it was sort of an opening of the floodgates because
he seemed eager to talk.
He seemed eager to talk, and he was chiming in and telling stories from the set, and just lots of really cool stuff, quite frankly, that you can catch on the panel because we recorded it. Unfortunately, our mics didn't record properly, so it's all the GoPro audio, but we boosted it so you can hear most of what he says and contributes to the panel, and it was really, really cool to have him involved because, quite frankly, afterwards, he left his table and came up to our table and said, hey, I just want to let you guys know that I thought you did a really great job on your panel. I've been to a lot of these things, and a lot of them just are kind of so-so, but you guys were prepared, and you had good opinions, right? Something like that, Marcia?
Yeah.
What exactly did he say?
Yeah.
He was very supportive. I was there for it, too, but take it away, Gail.
Oh, yeah, he was really great. I mean, to take time to come over there and tell us about how great it was, and he wasn't sure if he was even going to go, because he wanted to go, but I guess we didn't quite invite him to go, but I was sure I did mention to him that we were gonna have it because I actually interviewed him before our panel before I went.
Oh really? Okay, that's right.
Yeah, and which he was my first celebrity interview.
Let's talk about that, Marcia. So yeah, oh my god. So yeah, we at Mad Monster has been the location of most of our best celebrity interviews, and this was set up like Mad Monster, so we were hoping to get some good interviews, and luckily, when I kind of sent Marcia over, that's sort of my thing as the showrunner, is to delegate, which is to send other parts of the show over to ask people the hard questions.
The prettier one.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad that you did, because I was a little reluctant, because I'm a little shy when it comes to, like, asking people for things. I hate asking people for things. I don't know why, but I do, and I just feel like I'm bothering them, I guess. But I went over there, I got over myself, and I went over there, and I actually bought one of his pictures because I really wanted it, because it was one of his 31 from 31, where he's Psycho Head.
Thanks for helping sweeten the deal.
Yeah, he was so cool. So, and then we were talking about it, and I was just, was like, hey, we're thinking, since it's kind of a slower day, we're thinking about interviewing people, and would you be interested? And he's like, yeah, come over in like 10 minutes. We'll do it. And I'm like, sweet. So I was like, oh my gosh, he said yes. This is the first time someone said yes to me. I had a couple other people say no, like, respectively,
right.
But they, and it was kind of a bummer, so I was a little camera shy about it, but I was excited, and it went really well. He was ready. He was happy.
Long interview too.
Yeah, he was happy to talk. He was telling so many interesting stories about how he started his career, the different movies he was on, type of characters he likes to play, and
he's been in a lot more than we even realized.
Oh,
cool.
Yeah, just tons of stuff, and he has so much respect for every person that he's worked with or worked for, and I just really dig that positive energy that he brings to the table.
Were you able to look at it from the perspective of, like, how cool it is that, I mean, he was on the biggest show on television.
Yeah.
And you kind of just sort of, like, got in there, and that was your first interview, and he opened up to you and stuff like that. Like I'm curious, just from a friend-to-friend perspective, did it give you any sort of bug to try and do more celebrity interviews in the future?
Yeah, of course. I always want to grow and be better, and open myself up to more opportunities, and to be able to do that was a lot of fun. I could just sat there and listen to him all day, and which obviously wouldn't have been everybody's same.
Do you feel more confident that you could have interviewed perhaps like a Bill Moseley as competently and as confidently?
I think now I feel like I will
You
always have
think
that.
Lou was a good warm-up?
I feel like I'll always have a fangirl kind of thing when it goes to like meeting these celebrities who have work that I respect, and because putting yourself out there like they do is not easy. I mean, even being where we are, we get positive and some negative feedback, and it can kind of get you a little bit, but then you got to remember you can't feed the trolls and move on with your life.
I'm terrible at that.
Feed that troll.
You know, but I think that's what made me so happy about Lou is that he was very positive, and not only was he positive and just kind of like, oh, you did a great job, and made me feel really good and confident inside, but he also took the time to tell us about going to our panel and coming in and telling us about it, and I love to meet people like that and to know that he's been in such big movies like with 31 and Devil's Rejects
he voiced someone in Rango.
Walking Dead. I mean, there's Angels in the Outfield. I mean, come on.
Yeah, you reached way back into his
career. I love that movie.
Did you see his face kind of light up when I said that? He's like, oh.
Yeah. Well, it's good. No, I mean, I think it was definitely a great first interview for you, celebrity interview, and I'm confident that you'll be able to get across that conversational feel, because I think a lot of people respond to that sort of interview, especially celebrities, because they usually get the form interviews, the standard, what was the motive behind your choosing this story? What is the blah, blah, blah,
right.
blah, blah. And you're actually going into their personal details and stuff, which can maybe be a little scary for some actors, but the ones that open up to it, you ingratiate yourself to them, I think, even more than others. So.
Totally. Yeah, it's a fine line, because I feel like it's good to fan out a little bit, but still treat them like a person, as opposed to like put them on a pedestal or whatever it may be. So good to get your feet wet with, I mean, not so much smaller time people, but genre workers that aren't quite as high of a level. They're not like superstars or anything, because that will prepare you properly for the bigger ones. You know?
True. And
I still think it was funny that he dropped a very interesting hint during our panel, a little bit of a clue of sorts.
He actually told me. He actually gave that to me earlier. Because when I went over there to get the photo, because he heard us talking about it, and he goes, "Why do you think that only one person's gonna die?" And then I had no idea what he was talking about. I'm like, "What are you talking about?"
And that's when all of us were like, "Oh man, he's gonna kill two. Negan's gonna kill two people."
He's like, "Oh, well, I'm Negan." And I was like, "Oh." Oh man, don't ruin it for me. And he's like, oh, I'm sorry. And I was like, oh, it's okay.
As the guy who plays Glenn even said on The Talking Dead after the season 7 premiere, he was like, we've all known about this for a while.
Well over a year.
And we all had to just shut up and not say anything. And
well, yeah, because I think they actually shot the beatings at the same time they shot the finale.
That's what they said, like the same time. Yeah.
So yeah, they've been sitting on this for way longer than even... than we thought. They didn't shoot the whole episode, but at least the beatings and stuff. So,
and as Lou said, they all do conventions together. They all go out to dinner, have drinks, and talk about this stuff. Though. And so, well, there's a camaraderie that even after you're killed on that show, I mean, you're still a part of the crew.
You're the family,
which is cool.
Well, it's cool that we got that inside info, even though we didn't know officially that it was. We knew, but we didn't know for sure.
We didn't know what he was talking about.
Like, how about the fact that
it could? We were like, he could just be throwing a line to us.
Right, exactly.
Yeah, I was wondering, but it became the most watched episode of the show ever. The previous highest mark was 15-point-something million for the Terminus premiere for season 5. This did almost 21 million, 20.8 million tuned into that. It's insane.
It increased by 33% more. Jesus.
Terminus was the highest watched one up until that point, and not even anything in season 6, but season 7 premiere, that the Negan
Terminus
stuff.
was so small too.
It was so good though.
Oh, I love that season 5 premiere, but season 7, I mean, hey, there's a new benchmark for that show to aspire towards, I guess. And thanks for Lou for imparting some insight. I don't want to
segue into a Walking Dead conversation, and I'm about to, but...
hey, say a little bit.
But it's going to be interesting because it's getting dark, and it's funny to see fans who are not well read into the comic books that were caught off so but you have an idea, talking to us, you kind of have an idea what to expect.
Yeah, you guys told me you're like, Glenn dies in the comic book.
But if you think about the people who don't know and been watching, I mean, yes, Walking Dead's been pretty graphic, but it has not been this brutal.
No,
it has not gotten this dark, and it's so it's really interesting to see all of those fans going, wait a second, this is a horror show?
Yeah. And then spoilers.
People are dying like this?
Spoilers, they did a little bit of a bait and switch, which I think for people who have not read the comic books, they were like, okay, cool. Glenn's safe. Mm-hmm. Spoilers, nah. Sorry, dude. And it was probably, aside from Herschel's getting his head cut off, the most graphic thing I've ever seen on the show, ever.
I mean, it was so brutal. But, it was scene for scene from the comic books, and for those who watched our reaction to it and saw me giggle a little bit, it wasn't because I was happy to see Glenn die. I mean, of course I was happy to see him die because it was part of the storyline.
It's not because I was happy. Well, yeah, I was happy.
That's the worst apology ever.
But it was true to the book, and that's what made me happy. They made Negan true to himself, which makes me even happier, and that's why I laughed.
Like we talked about, there's a video floating around on YouTube right now where they show, like, scene for scene, panel by panel, I guess is the right terminology, the comic book with the Negan Jeffrey Dean Morgan dialogue behind it, and it's pretty much word for word.
That's why I was so happy about it, because I'm like, they did it real. Because I mean, I mourned Glenn, and I did mourn Glenn when he died years ago, you know, and it was a shock, and I get it. It's an emotional moment.
He was the most purely good, I think, in a lot of ways. He was like the moral center.
He was once again the heart of the show.
Yeah, and now
now
it's gone.
And now I think the injection of this Ezekiel guy almost feels to me like he's gonna be that new person who fills that role of the really genuinely good. Am I totally wrong?
No.
They're both laughing because they know something I don't know.
I know something you don't know. I know something you don't know.
I'll say this, in The Walking Dead, it's never a good sign when you become the moral one.
Never a good sign.
No, I'm not saying he's... Hey, I don't think anyone is safe on that show.
Days are numbered.
But hey, nonetheless, it was probably the best panel I think that we did. It was a lot of fun. Lou being there was super cool. And then the final panel
was a good one too. That was horror
one.
And video games, and we talked about a lot of really cool stuff. And frankly, we barely scratched the surface.
You took the words right out of my mouth.
Yeah, we're going to be doing way more horror and video game panels in the future.
It just makes me want to play more video games.
Well, it should.
Yeah.
You should just do that anyway.
I know. Who has the time?
I certainly don't. But, I mean, we could do point and click. We could do first-person shooter. We could do survival horror. I mean, there's so much.
Tons.
As far as subgenres go, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Tons. Yeah. There's a lot of good discussion to be had, so we're going to have more of that. But I thought the horror and video game panel that we did was still really quality. And we had a lot of good, visual aids, and people seemed to like the panel. So I thought we knocked it out.
Surprised by some of our picks, too, which I thought was cool. They were like, wow, I always thought about playing that, or I'd never even heard about that. So that's what a good panel does, is it informs and reminds.
Scary, informative.
Exactly. Yep. Hashtag scary informative.
Boom.
Because Stay Scared has been...
And you can see all of the panels we're referring to on the Horror Show channel.
Absolutely. YouTube.com/The Horror Show channel. Go to the Fangoria Fearcon playlist, and you'll be able to see all of these episodes we've been talking about, from Marcia's interview with Lou to our Walking Dead panel to our horror TV and horror video game, or horror TV and horror movie panels in 2016. And by the time this airs, the horror video game panel might be up as well. So take a look and check it out, and subscribe, you guys, to the channel if you like this stuff. Send it around, share it out so more people can subscribe. That way we can bring you guys even more content, more quality content.
And same if you're listening to this on iTunes, right? Make sure to share and subscribe and all that jazz.
Absolutely. We're the Horror Show podcast on iTunes if you want to just do the podcast part. So check it out and share that out as well. And
please start a conversation with us. We love it when our fans reach out to us and comment and
troll us or whatever.
No.
I mean,
do whatever you got to do.
Interacting is good.
Troll.
But yeah, hit us up, you guys. We're waiting for comments, and we'll get a discussion going. So thanks very much for listening. I've been Cecil Laird.
Gracias up in Jaime and Fuego.
Marcia Parker.
Until next time, remember, stay scared.
Are we supposed to keep going?
Oh, I'm out of breath.